And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Yeah, everyone. It's that time.
In the studio they go, talking pop and showbiz flow. Keep it up, you'll never know.
Yeah, welcome to Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And that was some AI-generated content for you.
You guys
Into your AI-generated content.
You'll hear the whole song at the end of the show for fun.
Yeah, we'll play it just for funsies. But, Rob's wife has decided to play with some AI lately. Not Allen Iverson. She's playing just with Rob strictly at this point in their marriage.
Who do you think would win in one-on-one currently? Allen Iverson or your wife? Like one-on-one basketball.
Allen Iverson.
Okay. Do you think there will ever get a point where Allen Iverson would lose?
If he's dead and she's playing the corpse.
I was going to say,
Okay.
Does Crystal not age and he continues aging?
Well, they both continue aging.
No. Never.
Okay.
Never.
No.
Never. Ever.
Ever.
What about first shot wins and she gets the ball?
No.
She starts with the ball.
No way.
No.
She's not going to cross him over, that's for sure.
Okay.
It's not happening, bro.
Okay.
She's got no left hand.
All right.
It's not happening.
Yeah, no. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this and realizes you have no faith in her
Oh, she
basketball
does
skills.
not listen to this. She has not listened in years.
She's on
No, it's just
episode.
weeks.
She's on episode like 68 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, by the way, this is the Kardashians. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Do you have OCD? Like you have to hear it in order for the show
Yeah,
to start?
exactly. I have to. Oh wait, hold on. That means I have to play this too. There you go. Okay, all the bumps have been played.
We're good.
We're ready to go.
We got it out of our system.
So anyways, welcome to the podcast, everyone. We got 2 episodes of Next Generation. We're in season 3. We're going to review those with you today, The Hunted and The High Ground. We're going to hit those up in the second half of the episode. As you know, the first episode, we catch up on the world of pop culture, news, and everything else. And my first thing is I need to yell at Joe.
Oh, God.
Beetlejuice was absolutely terrible. There was nothing redeeming about that
Nothing.
movie.
Oh, my God.
It was a steaming pile of crap. They had 9 different plots going on.
Who
Of
cares?
only one they actually solved. Who even cares about the plot? Who cares about her creepy fiance? And then there's this murder house that
Spoiler.
amounts to nothing.
I know.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not really saying anything, but
It's been
As
out
you-
over a week.
as
It's
usual.
over a week by our standards.
It's 2 weeks technically.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to say
we're
10
at,
days.
I think we're at 10 days at this point.
Well,
right?
I mean, you are
time
ruining people's lives currently.
I'm
so.
not gonna spoil it as opposed to story things, but it's like starring these. Monica Bellucci is in it, but
What?
is she really?
Is she?
Yes, she's in it. Willem Dafoe is in it as a character that is really completely unnecessary. There is nothing added by his character. There's nothing added by Monica Bellucci's character. There's no need for these characters.
There's nothing added. Danny DeVito has a.
It's a cameo.
I know. So who can? Do you not like fun? Do you not enjoy yourself?
I enjoy fun. The first Beetlejuice is a classic, and it's so good. And the thing is, here's the thing. It's not like Michael Keaton was bad as Beetlejuice. He was great as Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
But everything else sucked.
Oh my God.
That's why I got 2 stars.
Lydia Dietz was terrible. They ruined her character. The mom was... I mean, she was basically Moira from Schitt's Creek, basically the whole movie.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that character.
Yeah, the daughter of Lydia, fine, okay, fine, pointless. The story that she had, the reasons for her separation from her mother, dumb, pointless. Why does that even matter? Like, why did it matter? Nothing mattered. It was stupid. It was.
I didn't realize you were going into Beetlejuice with such a sharp critique pen.
Do you really want to? Because the first Beetlejuice had heart and soul, my man. Did it not?
It was a Huey Lewis song?
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, but like you think about the first movie, you have this couple who's madly in love and moves into their dream house and gets into this car accident and dies, don't realize they're dead. Then all of a sudden, like these yuppie crazy people move into the house and decide to like try to bring them back to life, and it's like traumatizing and terrible because it's going to kill them, but they're good people, and like there's no heart to this movie. There's no reason for this movie to have existed as it's written. They had 37 years to write this movie, and it is garbage.
Jesus.
You gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I had fun. I thought it was a fun movie.
9 out of 10.
It's fun. I would
No.
go. I would go see it again.
No, it's
734-494-0980 for your review.
Absolutely garbage.
I would spite see it again just to piss you off.
So it was. So here's the funny thing: we walked out of the movie. It was me, Eli, and Leslie.
And she immediately asked for a divorce.
No. So
Before
Eli's like,
dragging
"What
her?
did you guys think of it?" And me, and Leslie were both quiet.
You're like, Eli,
And
what
we're
did
like-
you think?
We're like 3 out of 10. Both of us said 3 out of 10 right away, right? And Eli's like, I give it an 8 out of 10. And
Yeah,
we're like,
Eli,
are you kidding?
genius.
So as we're driving home in the car, we're talking about all the plot
Corrupting
threads
him,
that were just
corrupting
like
him.
Yeah.
left out in the open or whatever.
Propaganda.
And after we got done, he's like, you know what? You're actually right. I'm gonna lower the point. It's a 7 out of 10 because you make some very good points, is what he said. So he's
I don't like your influence on your children.
I don't care.
Or what did the German kid think?
He did not go.
What did the
he
You
doesn't-
didn't take
he does,
Jesus
He does
Christ.
not like the cinema. He refused
No?
to go.
Really?
Yes, he
He
refused.
doesn't like the cinema.
He does not.
Can we
like the
elaborate on
cinema.
that?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Let's dig
like
into
it. He
this.
doesn't
Why?
Did you ask why?
Why?
He doesn't. He just doesn't enjoy it. He'd rather watch a movie at home.
What? Is it being? Is he?
I'm glad you didn't raise him from the get-go.
Right.
We would have words.
Well, and yeah,
What? I don't understand
yeah,
this.
Yeah, I don't. You know, what can I do?
Did you get to the bottom of that?
Yeah, there's a whole thing there.
So
that
in
I'm
theory,
not gonna
if
go into.
Batman 2 came out and we went to go see it, he would be like, no, I don't want to go see it.
Exactly. He wouldn't be going with us.
We would kill him.
I'm not going to drag someone along to a movie that's not going to enjoy it, though. Like, that ruins my enjoyment. If I'm sitting next to someone who's like, I didn't want to be here.
That's a terrible German accent.
Yeah, thank you. I've been trying to perfect it.
That was like a Valley Girl German. I do not want to be here.
Du Scheiße.
You both are wildly offensive.
Nine.
You're welcome.
Wait, you say 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10? You gave it a 2 on Facebook, and people were giving you like a standing ovation. I think.
Did I give a 2 out of 10 on Facebook?
I think you give it 2 out of 10.
And somebody said I didn't see the original, and they were agreeing with you and said they hadn't seen the original yet. And I wanted to.
No, I think that was to say I hadn't watched it since I went and saw it. Like, I've seen the movie, but I hadn't gone back. I gave it a 3 out of 10 on Facebook. Fact checked.
Or was it the text message chain?
Where's the edited one? Oh, was it in text? It might have been in text.
It might have been in text because I was furious after that movie. I
I got called out.
I immediately sent a message to the guy ripping on Joe. Oh my gosh!
Hold on, I have to scroll past.
I
your
got to
terrible
scroll past the takes on the draft. Yeah,
your bad draft negotiating.
Tua
skills.
is dead. Oh wait,
Tua Tagovailoa is dead.
yeah.
by the way,
exactly. Where's the Beetlejuice content? Oh, okay, it's not important. It's not important.
It's not, but I'm.
It's. Oh, I did say 2 out of 10 in the text. I found it. Joe,
Okay.
Beetlejuice was one of the biggest piles of crap I've ever seen. 2 out of 10.
Well,
So maybe I've raised it slightly. Like Keaton alone gives it 2 out of 10, and then Jenna Ortega was solid, so I'll give her a star.
Does she play Wednesday Addams?
No, she plays Lydia Dietz from the first movie, basically,
Oh.
which is fine because it's her
well,
child.
I mean, it's
yeah,
Lydia's daughter.
Yeah,
what's her name?
I don't know.
Lydia's daughter? What's
yeah,
her name?
It's also forgettable. I couldn't tell you. It was so
What
bad.
did you think about What did you think about the twist with her boyfriend? Did you expect
Oh, I
it?
saw that coming a mile
Oh,
away.
of course you did. I saw it
No,
coming.
I didn't see him being like what happened to him, but like the second she went into the house and the way they showed the mom and dad, I'm like, yeah, there's something weird.
Yeah.
There's something going on here. So,
Is
is it worth seeing in the theater? Absolutely not. Is it worth seeing at home? If you're drunk.
Absolutely.
If you're
not.
drunk.
If you're drunk. If you're
Hey,
drunk.
how was the theater you saw it in? Which theater did you go to?
I went to United Artists. I went to Imagine Canton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they
Look,
have.
I went and saw it in the most rinky-dink piece of garbage theater that is in the
And you
state of
still
Michigan,
had a
and I
good
still gave it a
time.
9.
Which is really just a shame.
It was actually just a VCR upstairs.
That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? And now for your feature presentation. Remember that back?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Oh my gosh.
Commercials playing in the beginning.
Yep.
Burger King commercials.
Do. Oh gosh. I'm trying to figure out the name of her character. Lydia Dietz, her boyfriend Rory, Delia's the mother,
Just go to IMDb.
Death of the father, Charles, Astrid.
Astrid, yeah.
Astrid.
Sweet name.
Yeah, I know.
So James Earl Jones is dead.
That's sad
Rip.
for sure.
My child.
Ah.
I'm sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a big bummer. That's a big loss for us.
Yeah. What do you most remember him? When I say James Earl
Oh,
Jones, what
wait.
do you think?
Field of Dreams? Wasn't he in Field of Dreams?
Field of
Yeah.
Dreams he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I remember him most for.
Okay.
Conan, the Barbarian. He was in Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think of him as Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think of him as the guy from The Sandlot. The
Oh,
oldest from The Sandlot. That's what I think of.
yeah,
That's a good one.
That is a good one. What was that guy's name in The Sandlot?
James Earl Jones.
No, in The Sandlot. James Earl Jones. No,
No, it's
what was
still
his name
James
in
Earl
The Sandlot?
Jones.
It was still James Earl Jones. It's like a who's
James Earl Jones as himself.
It's like a who's on first thing. Man, the guy was born in 1931. There we go. That took me
Nailed it.
1931.
Did you have a stroke?
Good for him. 93 years young. Can you imagine, like, James Earl Jones, you think about this guy. He was born in Arkabutla, Mississippi, is the name of the city he was born in.
Said bud.
Born in Mississippi, the deep south in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Living the life he lived, he had a stutter as a kid. So here's a black child in the South who has a stutter, and then becoming such a cultural icon that
He has one of the greatest voices of all time.
Absolutely.
yeah, but not even like he's one of the most respected actors.
I know, but the stutter thing, like to overcome a stutter and then develop into like the greatest voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's Morgan Freeman, there's James Earl Jones.
And there's somebody else. Who is it? Crap.
I forget the other. But I mean, Mount Rushmore of voiceover guys. Like that's
like Morgan Freeman's voice.
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
him and
Did
James
you
Earl
say
Jones.
Morgan Freeman? You
Yep.
might have said it. I was
Yeah,
looking-
you usually weren't paying attention as usual.
No, I was
James
looking
Earl
up
Jones, a
something about
graduate
James
of the
Earl Jones.
University of Michigan.
Yes, he was. They honored him today.
Did they?
Yes,
Michigan
they did.
man.
What happened with the game?
Oh, they
They
won
won
because it was
28-18.
which was not as much of a stomp down as it should have been. 28 to
Was
10.
it 22.5 point spread or 21 and a
Yeah,
half point spread?
28-18, and then Michigan State won 40-0, but they were playing like a high school, so yeah.
Oh.
But so is Michigan, so there's that. But yeah, so he was born in Mississippi, moved to a farm in Dublin, Michigan at the age of 5, which Dublin, Michigan is all the way up by, like if your hand is Michigan, it's at the top of the pinky, basically.
Yeah, it's up there by Traverse City and
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
in that
It's up there
general
by your
area.
ring finger if you're looking at your hand, the back side of your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's still your pinky.
You think pinky?
Yeah, it's kind of like there on your pinky.
I'm thinking it's more on the ring finger.
No. It's more in your middle finger. Up your butt.
Ladies.
I don't know why I said that. So, yeah, it's just incredible to me to think of the story of James Earl Jones.
And what
This
he's
man-
seen.
And what he's seen. Yeah, like what he's lived
All
through.
that transition he's seen in his life
Oh my gosh.
is
Yeah.
amazing.
Do you think with the way American society has evolved and changed and ever,
Evolved?
it has
Evolve.
evolved, yeah,
Yeah.
evolved, sometimes devolved, that will ever be able to look back, like, let's say 200 years from now, and there's like someone
I
who
won't be
dies
alive.
where we're like, wow, when they were a child, their life was so like different. Like you think of James Earl Jones, like the rights of Black Americans in the time he was born, to becoming this cultural icon where people, like, he was adored and celebrated by everyone. Is there ever going to be someone like that again? Like, and I don't
know. I
even
don't
just
know.
mean James Earl Jones, because you can think of like who's another, like Rosa Parks, who lived during that era and then dies as an icon, but for most of her life was spit at and treated like garbage and called names, and like it's.
I don't know that there's a modern equivalent of going through those troubling times.
Yeah, I mean, I think
There'll be versions of that.
I mean,
but
we
not
have
as prominent. I guess not as groundbreaking.
like I
yeah.
think
I
the
mean, there are
closest-
roadblocks and there are things to overcome in modern day existence, but no, I don't think anything like it was
Segregation
like 100 years
and
ago.
so on. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like this isn't a discount, but I wouldn't even say like transgender folk are treated pretty crappy in our society today. But I don't even think like in 60 years, like people will look at that as the equivalent of what Black Americans face, right? You know,
Well, yeah,
Probably not. I mean,
though,
would say
though there
definitely
are
not.
transgender
I
people
would
being
say that-
killed and mistreated
Yeah.
and abused, and you know,
I think the LGBTQ plus community is probably the closest modern equivalent.
right
I still
now,
think
yeah.
it's far off from what.
I think it's way far. Like it's way
Yeah.
tamed down. But I would say if you were to pull something from modern day, that's probably the closest.
it would track, it would
Right.
fit, right? Yeah.
Because
it
I
would-
mean,
Excuse me.
when you talk about it, you're talking about people who weren't given the same rights as others.
Yeah.
Now I think it was incredible. Like it was a more of a heightened deal then than it is against the gay community, like from the 80s and 90s to now.
Yes, I think it's
But
a whole different ballgame.
I agree, but they are having
yeah.
rights
Absolutely.
curbed and taken away and given back and taken away. Like it is a struggle to get the same rights as, you know, heterosexual straight Americans, people. So I don't know. It's probably the closest modern counterpart, I guess. It's distracting. I was like losing my words.
It happens.
Oh, he's making kissy faces at me.
It
I was.
I know you're having a serious conversation, and here's this
I know.
no talent ass clown.
Oh, I had never said I had any talent.
Guess how much money James Earl Jones made for Darth Vader? His first time filming it.
It's
Like,
first time, probably not much.
$7,500.
50,000.
$7,000 he made.
Wow.
Ooh.
Nice.
Spent 2 hours recording dialogue for it. Made $7,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $36,000 today
Not
for 2 hours of work.
not that bad.
Not that bad at all. He dies with a net worth of $40 million, which is just fascinating.
Rumor is he was buried with it. All of it. Just $40 million in cash in the
Yep.
coffin.
It's in his socks.
Well, I've never been a gravedigger, but
There might be a first time.
yeah.
So rest in peace.
Rest in power, Mr. Jones. James Earl Jones. What an iconic voice.
Absolutely.
12 great films of James Earl Jones.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Dr. Strangelove.
That's
Great White Hope.
Mm-hmm.
The Man in 1972. Don't know it. Claudine, 74. The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars in Motor King,
interesting.
What year was that?
76. Then Star Wars, 77. Madawan, 87. Field of Dreams, 89.
This is chronological.
Lion King, 94. Cry
Oh,
of the Beloved
yeah.
Country, 95.
Yep.
Coming to America.
A Family Thing, 96. The Second Civil War, 97. So there you go. Those are the best 12 best James Earl Jones movies.
Sandlot wasn't on there?
It was not on
Horse
there.
shit.
It was not on there.
That's bull malarkey.
Wasn't he also in Driving Miss Daisy? Or was that on Broadway?
Wow. That was not.
It was on
That was
Broadway.
not.
All right, next topic before
It
Nick
was
gets in
on
trouble.
Broadway, fools. I'm not wrong. It was just not on film. It was on Broadway.
Rob, you got anything?
Yes, I do actually.
So anything that isn't going to get Nick in hot water?
I'm not in hot water because I know Broadway. All right, anyways, go ahead.
So
You uncultured swine.
You uncultured swine.
last week when we recorded, we forgot or we didn't know something was happening on this past Sunday. And now that it's happened, I got to bring it up this week.
Football season.
Yes, but Paramount was on fire for Star Trek Day. How about that Strange New Worlds interviews and the trailer that came out for it? The Legacy news that came out.
Are you being sarcastic?
Dude, it was awesome. They put out all this great interviews and like still footage for Starfleet Academy. Got me excited for it. There's like they interviewed legacy actors and talked about the impact of Star Trek. It was awesome. They went to
I totally missed it.
yeah, it was fantastic. They went to Section 31 and actually showed a good trailer for it. Still not excited about it, but a really good trailer for it. And
Is he joking?
I think he is.
no, I'm not joking. Actually, I'm completely bullshitting
I was
because they
gonna
did
say.
absolutely nothing except for a Lower Decks trailer release preview. They didn't announce its renewal anywhere, mind you, the one that people want to stick around.
Yeah.
But they did nothing for this franchise that carries that studio.
You know why? Because Paramount's in the middle of a sale, so they're not
Yeah.
going to sink any money into anything.
They didn't do anything really last year either.
Because they don't care about the property.
Paramount doesn't deserve Star Trek.
Sell it to
really
somebody who
don't.
does.
Can't they sell the property?
They,
I don't know. They had
they
some-
have a buyer lined up.
yeah.
I'm not talking like I mean sell
Like,
the
piecemeal
the
it
IP,
out?
yeah. Like Disney didn't Disney bought Star Wars or Lucasfilm.
First before they bought Fox and everything. Yeah.
That's true, right? They
So why not just buy somebody please buy Star
Yeah,
Trek.
just someone
Somebody
go in
with
there and be
some
like,
coin.
because it was Skydance, but then someone else came
Okay,
out.
Yeah.
question. Would you rather we do this game on Patreon all the time and it's not this
It's
nerdy.
not this, yeah.
Would you rather Paramount keep Star Trek and roll the dice with whatever they're going to do
No.
or Disney buy Star Trek?
I'd rather
Oh,
Disney buy Star
gosh,
Trek.
No.
I would roll the dice.
No,
I
I
would
would roll the
keep-
dice
yeah.
with Paramount. No,
I do not
Disney
want-
is sterilizing everything. It's
Star Trek would be awful.
It's copy and pasted everything. Like,
Maybe.
say what you will about current Star Trek, but at least they're trying something different, right? They're trying new things. It's not working.
I'm
but,
just really hope Tomorrow World would turn into Star Trek World.
oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Star Trek theme park.
Yeah, but then the delusion of everything Star Trek with Disney money and Disney like just watered down everything.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
No, yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll gamble with whatever is going to happen with
But you're
Paramount.
right. Star Trek Day sucked.
It sucked. It was pathetic.
Why do they even call it Star Trek Day if then
Why-
nothing's going to happen?
Oh, let's put something on social media. It's Star Trek Day. End of scene. We're done.
It's it.
That's it.
Didn't they not even do that?
They did that. That's
We're going
it.
to walk off.
Oh, here's a Lower Decks teaser. Cool. Thank you for canceling the show and then showing me just a little teaser of it. Thanks for the interviews you did. Oh, wait, you didn't do that.
But there's
Thanks
stuff,
for announcing something.
there's
Oh, wait,
stuff
you-
happening though.
It's Star Trek Day. Why even mention if you're not going to do jack shit for it?
Star Trek has been so mismanaged since for as long as I've known about it.
Yeah.
It
Late
is pre-
90s.
It is pretty terribly managed. It's very terribly managed.
That being said, Peacemaker 2 is coming out next year for sure.
Are
after
they
Superman.
aware of what they're doing? Do they know how badly they handle Star Trek, or do
They
they
probably
just
think it's great.
yeah? If you want every show getting canceled,
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
I mean, you guys didn't like Discovery.
No.
Nick was a remember
Is
Nick
Is it
was a
over?
flip flopper.
Is it over? Is it
Yeah,
done?
it's over
Oh, yeah, it did end. Yeah.
When did it end? It
This
ended
year.
this year.
I know, but how long ago? How many?
2 months, 3 months.
No.
Yeah,
well,
like May.
Yeah.
I guess I'd.
I think we talked about it actually, Joe.
We did. We talked about it, Joe.
Are you pulling a new Nick?
Must have been one of those episodes. Sean was here.
Here's a question. Have you guys heard this news yet about this right here?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We get to talk music. Yes.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this because they got a new singer to replace
This is
Chester, who passed away.
From Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park. Emily Armstrong is their new singer, and Lincoln Park fans were outraged.
Outraged?
They fell into two camps that I've seen so far on the internets. One, you replaced him with a girl. How dare you?
Oh, yeah. You can't do that.
Then the other one was, you're crapping on his legacy. The band died with Chester. Let it go. It's not fair. You're ruining the legacy of Chester by continuing on. Curious-
There's tons of precedent though.
Yes.
I don't see anything wrong with continuing on.
No, it's
right?
like
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like
There's
Lincoln
tons of
Park, the next generation.
Stone Temple Pilots did it. Alice in Chains did
Alice in
it.
Chains did it.
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
AC/DC did it.
Journey has done
Journey has
Oh,
done it.
God. You and your journey.
There's tons of
it. Hagar.
Van Halen.
Van Halen
Yeah.
did it.
I will hold any reservation I have or don't have until I hear the music.
So
I don't think she's bad.
I don't think she's bad at all. And I actually appreciate them getting in a voice. I appreciate them picking someone whose voice isn't the same.
Yes, I agree.
AC/DC, when they replaced their lead singer, you wouldn't even have known, right, that they replaced the lead
Oh,
singer.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with this. Did you hear some of the news about her?
No.
That she's a Scientologist, and that
crap.
she went to I think she attended the Danny Masterson trial in support of him like one time.
She released a statement about that.
Yeah.
I did hear that.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going with this.
I did not know this.
She said
Breaking news.
My bad, bro.
She did. She was like, yeah, I was just going there as a friend. I
didn't really appreciate what he was accused of.
Yeah.
And once I was educated to it, my bad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh.
Genesis. Sorry, bands that changed lead singers.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, but I'm talking about with like for death.
Shit.
With death.
Chicago.
Yeah, bands who
Nirvana.
replaced lead singer who
Turned into Foo Fighters.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, here's their list that they have: Thin Lizzy, Queen, Stone Temple Pilots, Sublime, INXS,
Sublime. Oh yeah. INXS had no success though.
Leonard Skinner, Alice in Chains, Grateful Dead. Who's their top two that they listed? Joy Division, and
they became a new band.
AC/DC.
Joy Division didn't. When Ian Curtis died,
entirely changed
they
were like
became
a
New
goth,
Order.
like new wave music. And
They became New Order. That's
Yeah.
the different band.
yeah.
I mean, born out of the same thing, but
AC/DC is probably the best example, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes, I would agree.
yep.
and they replaced him with a singer almost exactly the same. Almost.
In some respects,
Thank you, Joe.
Their voices are very similar.
There's similarities.
they achieved massive success.
With their,
Although I think that's where you can argue is there's the lead singer of AC/DC died on the upswing when the band was coming up, whereas Linkin Park had achieved pretty much everything most of what they were
all
going
their
to
major
achieve.
success. Yeah, they had already plateaued and they were kind of past that. Whereas 5 months after he died, they released Back in Black. 5 months. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that blows my mind.
I think the modern equivalent is Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Coming into a band where it's very hard to replace a lead singer who they had monster success with, who was iconic, and then trying to do something new and sing the old stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
And they've had a lot of success with was it William? Fuck, I forget his last name. William something.
I don't remember.
I want to say Defoe, but it's not. It's like
It's not definitely not
Willem
Defoe.
No, he was in a different movie that sucked.
I would give that
called
movie a 9.
Beetlejuice. You could talk about Rage Against the Machine. When Chris Cornell joined, they became Audio Slave. Different band.
Different band.
Different
Yep.
band, but it's.
Audio Slave was the shit.
Or you had like Velvet Revolver.
That's
Velvet
a super
Revolver.
group. That's a super group.
Super group. Motley Crue did it in 93. See, all these bands that did it, though, were after the height of their popularity. Like Motley Crue with John Corabi. Okay, they were already done. Black Sabbath with Ian Gillan.
But they just moved on from lead singers. It's not like they died.
Right, exactly.
They died to them.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
Genesis tried to continue on after
Yeah.
Phil Collins quit. Bad decision.
Bad decision.
Foreigner with Kelly Hansen. Whatever.
Hanson brother. No.
Sticks with Gowron. Lawrence
Gowron?
Lawrence,
what?
Lawrence Gowan. Gowan.
I want to see Sticks with Gowron.
I'm not gonna say I'd kill to see Sticks with Gowron. They have a song called Gowron Eyes.
Oh, man.
Glory.
Fleetwood Mac. Ooh. Tried to continue on. Judas Priest. So, I mean, yeah. All right. Knowing that she's a Scientologist who supported Danny Masterson, that's a pretty big strike. But I'm not going to fault her for being a female singer. I'm not going to fault her for ruining the legacy of Linkin Park. I actually think her voice blends well with the band. I think it doesn't sound bad at all.
I think
these are live.
I think she tries a little hard. Like she strains her voice a lot.
You could tell in that last clip that he played.
Was this crawling? Was this Numb.
Just crawling.
Crawling.
Here's somewhere I belong. Here we go. Let's go to. I don't think it's bad.
It's not the worst.
Is her voice great right there? But
Yeah.
keep in mind, she's new to the band. She's
Well,
got to
yeah,
find her
I
own.
won't forget that. But her,
Yeah.
and get used to the style she has to sing there. Like we don't know how much time she had to adapt.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's been auditioning for a while. I'm assuming she'd been working with them for 6 months or so at that point by the time they debuted, in my personal opinion. I don't know. Maybe there's stuff out there that says otherwise, but...
Man, I wonder. I just wonder what those conversations were like with the rest of the band. If they're like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Do you want to...
No, we need some scratch.
I know
we need a singer.
I know Chester's family is not happy. Like his
No.
son has spoken out very strongly against it. And like there's a quote I was even just reading where he calls Mike Shinoda from the band. He calls him Uncle Mike, and he's like, he's using my words against me, and he's doing things that he promised me he wouldn't do.
You think they just don't think they were going to be as successful if they just went on as another band?
See, they should have renamed themselves to Allen Park.
They're
and do all lines with Dan Campbell as the lead singer.
I know.
oh my gosh, I would pay to see that live.
Running through walls.
Yes.
Some of their songs.
Okay, Alan Park with Dan Campbell as the lead singer doing Linkin Park covers.
I mean, I'm sure he does it.
So there's a city really near to Detroit, really near us, called Lincoln Park, and Allen Park is directly next door to that. So you understand the joke
Yes.
I just made.
Or you could just change the name to Lincoln, like Linkin, to Lincoln, like the last name.
Yeah.
Lincoln Park,
Yeah.
which is how it's spelled here.
Abe Lincoln Park. Just throw the Abe in front of it.
Then just have everybody dress up as presidents.
Yep.
And Honest Abe is at the lead.
So so going back to this, I want to backtrack this. So his son Jamie spoke out against this, and I want to be clear. Like, this is a kid who's probably still grieving. I don't know if he's a kid anymore. I don't know
He's
how
in his 20s. He's 20, mid-20s, I
he's
think.
grieving the loss of his father or whatever. But basically, one of the things he's most upset was that at the concert, Mike Shinoda has said that when you guys sing, you're bringing back the voice of Chester again. Like, he's saying, anytime you sing, anytime you do this, it's the voice of Chester Bennington back again. And the son said, it's disgusting that he's doing that they're the voice and presence of my father. It's disgusting. But I think in a way, I think that's an honor to be like that. Like, your music has been so influential that your name carries on even after your death. That when you're singing, it's a little part of Chester there.
The guy is saying that you...
So
what do you say again?
So Mike Shinoda said, at the concert, he said,
Speaking to the
"And
crowd.
in the role of Chester Bennington this afternoon is each and every one of you. You are the role of Chester Bennington."
So what's the
now."
lady for?
I know.
I mean, yeah.
Could they not have
And
just...
at their first official show, Shinoda said, "You already know that you guys are singing for Chester tonight, right? You already know that." So the son is disgusted that he's saying that. Now, this is a son who's grieving. His
Absolutely.
father took his
Yeah.
life.
So could they not have just pulled his vocals from either some live shows or some records? Because
That's cheesy.
I think that would have
What?
been worse in a way.
That's like what Queen would used to do with Freddie Mercury. You know, they would
Dude,
play
Elvis toured with a full band in the 90s.
Yeah,
How about-
that's
Hold
disturbing.
Elvis toured with his full band, but
no Elvis.
With no Elvis, but it was like a holographic Elvis singing
Hold on.
Elvis.
That's what I'm saying.
It was
holographic Chester. Let's bring back
you want
Tupac
to talk
too.
about dishonorable, though.
I don't like that we skipped over the holographic technology and went right to AI.
Yeah.
We didn't get to have fun with the holographic people.
The things I would do to a holographic Elvis. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Speaking of
Absolutely nothing.
of likenesses, one thing before we go, did you guys hear that Disney is getting sued for over Peter Cushing using his
Yes.
image? Good.
Yes.
Their exact quote was, "Well, he was in one of our movies. We have the right to his likeness."
No, you don't.
Like hell, you do.
Do not have the right. You in that movie.
So what were
you
they
did,
using it for?
Rogue One.
Rogue One. It was AI generated. They redid him.
Do you not remember that?
Oh, I do. I didn't read the story. I saw the story, but I didn't read the details. I hate to side with Disney.
What?
What?
How are they getting sued? They own the rights to that film. If they use
They don't.
They own the
his
rights
likeness,
to
the character, but not the
Star
likeness.
Wars: A New Hope,
not
Empire
his-
Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. They do not own the rights to.
So
bringing him
way a
back
guy
to
looks
life.
like it.
is he being used outside of that character? Are they recreating that character for Rogue?
That character.
They own the
just
character.
that character.
That's the character.
That's the character, but
They
it's
own the
his
character.
face.
They don't own his likeness.
name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, they own it.
No,
They don't own it. They own the character, not that. They can
They're not-
animate them and make them look different.
I honestly, I'll probably side with Disney.
Wow, you're a dirtbag.
734-494-0980. Let us know where you stand.
Gosh, he rates Beetlejuice a 9 out of 10 and sides with the big mouse.
At least he didn't say Chicago is the best.
Yeah, I'm still light years ahead of you. Bud.
Ron Howard. I mean, although
You
after Eden, he might be.
That's true. That's true. We got that coming up. We did not take any actually planned commercial breaks. But here's the thing. Why?
I paused before I announced James Earl Jones was dead.
That's true.
But here's why.
And we all-
Spreaker has gotten absurd with their commercials now. They're adding like 15 commercial breaks. Like of
Has it added any more in our back pocket, in our pocketbook?
Huh?
And have all the 15 commercials added any more money into our bank account?
Tens of cents. Tens of
We are
cents.
rolling in it. I feel like
Tens of
Scrooge
cents.
McDuck diving into pennies.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what it is. So, I mean, you know, we'll say there's a commercial break here, but like, honestly, I cannot make any promises to you.
I hope the commercial breaks just cut you off.
We're going to take a quick. Oh, snap. Anyways,
Is your penis not working?
let's move on to Star Trek, shall we? So we got 2 episodes.
Look at images of Joe and it will.
The Hunted. The Enterprise is investigating a planet that wants to join the Federation, and during this investigation, turns out, they had a prisoner escape on that planet. The Enterprise tries to catch this guy, but he's a wily coyote. They're having a hard time catching him. And why? Because he was genetically engineered and made to kill, and he's like a bad man.
So bad.
And they've kept him on a prison on the planet, and he's not allowed to go anywhere. And the Enterprise catches this guy, and they're like, we don't know what to do with him. And the prisoner's like, I don't care. You guys are just as evil as my planet. And they're like, no, we're not like them. And he's like, yes, you are. And Deanna comes in there in a skin tight suit and says, I just want to help you.
He's like, all right.
And he says, I don't believe you. And she walks out. Skin tight suit had nothing to do with it, but I just wanted to make the point that she's walking in there on a man who's been stranded on a planet all alone, saying, let me
They
help
never
you.
said alone. He was in a colony or in
He was
prison.
in a colony with all other super soldiers, which were implied all men.
Was it implied it was all men?
Yes.
No, because I think when they went and invaded the area, wasn't there some females present?
Nope. It was all men. All the soldiers were men.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hot.
Exactly. So, the episode ends with them basically letting this guy escape. He goes to the planet, and the planet calls the Enterprise crew down there and says, hey, can you defend us now, even though we've told you to stay out of our business? And Picard's like, nope, I'm out. Fix it yourself.
Whoops.
Apply to the Federation later. The end. So there you go.
Okay.
That's
I've
the
had
episode.
a change of heart.
Roga Danar.
James Cronwell.
Yes. The creator of the warp drive himself, Zefram Cochrane.
It's true.
You'll know this soon.
So you said you had a change of heart?
Yeah. I don't think Disney should be able to use the likeness of that guy.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I was thinking about it because they're not going to pay the family, are they?
There it is. Right
And they'll
there.
just be able. They can just use whatever. Yeah. No.
And then
no.
you can use that to justify anything then at that point in time.
Right. You just as long as you have made.
Well, he's in our movie. We can do anything we want with his
No.
face.
Yeah. No.
That's
no.
what they're saying.
Well, no. If it was the same character,
Rob's
I
been on
get
my
it. but-
podcast. I can do anything I want with his face.
You
Yeah,
do.
we've seen this.
Yeah.
Punch it.
This is old news.
No. I
Awkward.
disagree. I do not side with Disney. I'm defecting.
You're defecting?
Yes.
Well, you can't.
I side with the dead guy.
You have committed to your
No,
cause.
it's
No?
within the same show. We haven't stopped recording, so
I'm not going to go back.
all thoughts don't count until we hit stop.
All thoughts matter.
Although the
sir.
recording light's green, so we haven't been recording.
It is. No, shut up. I actually checked it twice so far this recording.
What are you, Santa Claus?
Yeah.
All right, so
I
the
see you
Hunted.
when you're sleeping. The Hunted. Yes, The Hunted. So the guy's name is Roga Danar is his name. And he's pissed
Yeah.
because they've basically genetically engineered them to only be aggressively violent when they are threatened.
Yeah.
Whew, that is pretty awesome, actually.
That actually is pretty wise of them to do.
And
Yes.
especially now, because when they go back to the planet at the end, they're like, Picard's like, put down your guns. They're not actually going to do it. They're not going to harm
Yeah.
any of you. The only
Right.
time they're going to harm you is when you're going to try to kill them. If you try to kill them, that makes you the bad guy.
Yep.
You know, that's a pretty sweet way to make your soldiers, isn't it?
And this episode kind of reflects, I don't know if they did it on purpose, kind of like reacclimating military veterans.
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely what I thought.
Yeah.
And how we just ignore that. We talk about supporting our troops and investing billions and billions of dollars in the military, but that's not going into the soldiers or their care. That's going to the big manufacturing
Right.
companies. This is going to buy bombs and tanks and guns. And then after the soldiers out, we're kind of
They
like,
get-
you're on your
Yeah,
own.
veterans get scraps.
Yeah, you get to go to the VF, not the
VFW.
VA, the
The
VA.
Yeah,
VA.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you get to go to the VA hospital where you're not going to get actually good care.
No.
Or have to deal with those Robert Gronkowski commercials.
Oh my gosh,
Moron.
moron,
I catch ball.
idiot, Gronkowski.
Overrated.
But I mean, that's a very good point. Like, how advanced of a society can you be when you treat the people who fought for your society so poorly?
Yeah, who got
Yeah.
your society there.
Who got you there in the first place? Like, and that's the same thing with our country. You want to talk about how great we are? Okay, well, how do we treat our veterans? We treat them like garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have politicians getting up there saying, I support our troops, when they don't actually support our troops. They don't do any of the work and they don't invest in money
No.
in them.
Especially not the veterans.
And then they go and pat themselves on the back and say, I got a raise for the Department of Defense. It was $48 billion last year. Now it's $49 billion. And it's like,
Yeah, but that money's not going. Money
that's
doesn't.
going to the
It
contractors.
doesn't trickle down to
Yeah.
anybody.
No, and it goes
Exactly.
into the current thing and current military, not
Right.
all of our retired.
No, they're
Not all of our-
mistreated. They're treated poorly, and I don't know. But you're right. This whole episode, that's what I thought, that it was an allegory of that.
Yeah. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it certainly seemed like it.
I don't know. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up on Memory Alpha.
Well,
and see if
usually I would
can-
look up like the show notes on it, but again, time has been fleeting these
That
past
seems
weeks.
like a really convenient excuse. I got
Yeah.
the hiccups.
Go
today.
friend yourself.
My memory's
This
foggy
episode-
because I watched these 2 weeks ago.
Michael Pillar remarked, the whole theme of the show was let's look at how society treats its returning veterans.
Perfect.
I thought from a conceptual level we handled that well, and we come up with a good science fiction to make it interesting. There's
I
some
think Mike's
argument
right.
that the best soldier ever created, bringing the Enterprise to its knees, is a little hard to believe, and that might have been a weakness of the show.
So speaking of
I
that,
enjoyed it, was not ashamed.
how inept is the Enterprise?
Haven't we talked about
Oh,
this before? That
no.
they don't know how to handle
Not yet, because this is the first time it's been this bad.
that one guy basically destroyed the entire crew.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
able to go in there and go in there and wipe out the engineering crew and do like 3 things, and they couldn't shut down. Like,
Haven't we seen this before with like the light thing that went around and pretty much shut down everything? There was like
that went into
electrical thing, like a
safety.
disease, like an electrical
Oh.
disease.
yeah, well,
We-
at least that was like
Guys, we might have a sheet. Just warning you.
oh,
Oh,
come
Jesus.
on.
All right,
Christ in hell.
continue.
But I mean, I know that was more than just one guy.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was still just one thing, one entity. Is like, yeah, I can shut this whole fucking thing down.
but at least that thing floated through floors and stuff like that. This guy just kind of like walked around,
Yeah.
was able to just blow up the Enterprise on. No, that's not next episode actually. But it's just,
Do you think we have a problem here?
I think we got a problem. I think we need to get Tasha Yar back running security.
I know, because even Worf, when he outsmarts the guy, still loses.
Yeah.
He outsmarted him later on, and he still got his butt kicked
Well,
by
he
this
had,
guy.
I don't know if this guy had super soldier serum or not.
Yeah, he did.
So he's got Captain America powers.
He's Captain America.
So
Not as handsome.
yeah, definitely not as handsome. No,
No.
sir.
No, sir.
Why-
Have you seen Chris Evans?
Whatever your type is, I don't know.
Girl.
Girl,
Girl, you best recognize. I'm going to let Chris Evans call me daddy.
There it is.
That's for you, listeners. I know some of you have said it makes you sick to your stomach when I say it, so I said it.
all of them.
No, some of them. Not
Well,
all
there's a
of them.
class action lawsuit.
There's not.
No.
You can earn our negative money that we make.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What worked in this episode to you?
Picard at the end.
Yeah.
You deal with it.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet, actually. Him just walking away. Yeah, I'll deal with it. 4 to beam up.
This is clearly an internal manner, turning the guy's words against him.
Yeah.
That worked for me.
That worked for me.
Other than that, I'm so distracted about how inept the security is on the Enterprise.
Yep.
That I can't think about anything else. Like literally, like I'm just obsessed with it. Going like seriously.
But I mean, you expect more from the Enterprise.
Exactly.
And this guy, I mean, he was a super soldier, but
I get
If
that
one-
I can't
if-
track his movements. I understand that. But you don't mean in engineering the heartbeat of your ship that maybe there's
they
like
couldn't-
a fleet of security officers in red alert?
they can't track him at all.
No.
I mean, that's,
well, they can
that's,
track him like when he hit a console, but obviously he's smart. He's setting you morons up.
I don't know.
I think this is all distraction and he might be going the other way. No shit, Sherlock.
Isn't this part of the weakness of the Federation, though? They become so advanced they can't.
No.
They can't
I don't accept that answer.
understand what deception is.
I don't accept that answer. That's ineptitude.
Mm.
It's bad writing in the long run, quite honestly.
like they're just so naive to deception.
Yeah, that they just
That
don't,
they just don't see it
They
coming.
don't think it's like anyone's capable of it or would do it.
Worf's
to
a
them.
Klingon.
He's kind of a poor.
And
Klingon.
there's come on, man. I don't accept that answer. No. It's ineptitude. It's bad writing and it's
If you're gonna have the ship can't be this inept. It
No
can't be
way.
this susceptible to one
in the
dude.
24th century
No.
where come on. We got holodecks. And you can't find a way to track this guy.
Gentlemen-
Or I don't know, Data's a machine process. It took him way too long to go, oh, wait a second. He's going to trick
What's
us. But they didn't
But
realize
what
he's
about
tricking them.
What about
You're
what's her
sitting here
name?
getting so wrapped up on a genetically engineered soldier able to take over a ship. Sir, may I introduce you to Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan? The USS Reliance, sir? Genetically engineered soldiers? Took it over.
Soldiers, plural.
It started with Khan, though, didn't it?
No.
There was
well,
another-
in the Space Seed episode.
yeah, exactly.
But then they unfroze them all.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
What about
Take out that space seed.
Deanna Troy? She doesn't like feel the guy.
I know she doesn't have any sensories on him.
She did sense some things, didn't she?
I thought she did.
Because she sensed when he was having a bad dream. That's why she went into the brig
That's
in the
right.
first place. She was walking down and she's like, ooh, Daddy's having a bad dream.
There's two.
Well, let me go wake him
Can
up.
we do a shot game of that?
No. You want to die?
You want me to answer that?
No.
You can. You just have to say, please. Daddy, please.
We're
All right.
done. We're done.
So
We're dead.
going back to what did work, the exchange between Data and him was a really good scene. When Data was talking about being a computer and not like having emotion and Daynar's talking about how like he's killed 84 people and he remembers every single one of them and you know what emotional toll that takes and Data's like I don't because I don't have
Yeah.
emotions.
There was a couple good moments.
Yeah.
I agree that there's maybe some good dialogue exchanges.
I didn't think it was
I like the premise. The premise was nice.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
kind of like the allegory it tried to tell.
Yes.
I do appreciate that very much.
I thought they did a good job telling that.
Yes.
Like I didn't think it was too heavy-handed. I thought it was pretty well done.
But
The fact that this guy could just wipe out essentially the show. He's like, you guys are done with this show.
Yeah,
Enterprise is done.
you couldn't do an Apple tag on this guy, an air tag. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I want to know what in the Next Generation timeline, what happened to AirTags?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The
That's what
technology
the
was
communicator is, and they're wearing them. It's like no, just shoot them and like with a taser.
Was
and
it this
goes into 'em.
episode or the next one where the guy just used the hand to was it the next
I
episode?
think it was this episode.
In the high ground.
Wasn't it this episode?
Was
Because he was on. No, yeah, it was this episode because he was on the ship. Goes, release that force field.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Where you just use the hand.
Yeah, I broke it.
I know.
I didn't know it worked that way.
So dumb.
So dumb.
So how is this? Okay, the Federation is basically getting ready to let this civilization into the Federation.
Yeah.
Right? This is even past, like, they're not interviewing at this point. It's almost a mere formality, right?
I don't remember.
And then
Some
by the end of
vetting
it, they're
process
like,
they have.
sorry, you're not in anymore.
Yeah.
But like, and I like the quotes by the other guy, like where he's multiple times telling him, like, you're in bed with these people. Like, you try to keep your hands clean. You're just as dirty.
Bro, we didn't know.
Oops.
Card said.
Yeah, but they didn't know. But instead of fixing the problem, they just leave instead. So their hands are dirty. You walked onto this planet. You thought everything was great. You were going to let them in. Then you realized things weren't so great, and you had buyer's remorse. And you're like, I'm out. You got to fix your own crap. I don't like that.
I like that because he's like, oh, you kind of hid this from us, probably. This part of everything, probably.
They hid it from
And
them,
you
yeah.
were not willing to negotiate with them when all they wanted to do was talk.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, well, guess what? You're going to talk now.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace.
But then he pulls the whole line of like, well, we're not allowed to interfere with the development of societies.
Why
Bro, you were just about to let them into the Federation.
Why did he use that line?
That's
though?
not interfering.
Because the prick used it earlier.
I know, but like, again, it's like
That's not interfering.
That's not interfering. They were invited.
Yeah.
his act lines was, in your own words, this is not our affair. We cannot interfere in the natural course of your society's development. And I say it's going to develop significantly in the next few minutes. I know Picard's repeating back his words, but like, again, that's the way of washing your hands of the problem. We know there's a problem, but now we're out. Like, that's kind of lame to me. If you're the Federation,
They weren't in the Federation yet. If they were in the Federation, that might have changed things.
you know
Yep.
what? They had started the stew. They got to keep stirring that pot now,
No.
or
No,
else it's going to
no,
get
I
burned.
disagree.
I just made up a metaphor.
I
It's a
disagree.
bad metaphor.
It was really bad.
It was terrible.
You got to keep the pot stirring, or else it's going to get burnt. You know, got to mix those ingredients together. Gotta.
Episode 2, The High Ground. Anything else with this from this one?
What? Oh, how about this? What doesn't work in this episode?
Gee, I wonder.
Most of it?
Yeah, most of it.
The security breaches.
Yeah, and some of it was just
You know what doesn't work? Security.
I don't-
Security does not work.
they took this episode off.
I think Troy's interactions with him doesn't work in this episode.
I think it both
actually.
works and doesn't work at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, security.
Sorry, we all just got quiet.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
There's
yeah,
there's
I
your
don't
commercial.
know.
Yeah. What about the line that Picard makes earlier on, like a comfortable prison is still a prison or something like that? What was the line he says about that?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And it's here it is. Prime Minister, even the most comfortable prison is still a prison because they're like, we made him comfortable. And isn't that kind of the argument like we've made in society today? Like other countries are like, American prison systems are so terrible. At least in our prison systems, we give them all these sorts of things and some free time and all that, but it's still a prison. So it's still,
What prison system is worse than ours? Or
I'm
is
saying-
better than ours?
are you being serious? Oh,
No, I mean...
is this like the Star Trek Day thing?
No. But what country is saying, like...
Like Germany, like all the European countries, basically.
Yeah.
Germany, Norway,
Germany's
Sweden.
prison system used to suck.
would you want to be in a North Korean prison or a Russian prison?
I'm talking about the Europeans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Racist? That's Nick. I'm talking about the Europeans. The whites. Talking about the
They're
whites.
the ones who talk about their prison systems all the time.
Yeah,
as
white
being superior.
white prisons are better. So you're saying the prisons in Europe are better than the prisons in,
This is
say,
a good time to move on to the next episode, I think. This is probably a good time. What do you think?
I think it's a good time for you.
Yeah, it's a good time. Let's move on to the high ground, shall we? Can we move on to the high ground, please?
Dude, I thought this episode was about weed. I was wrong.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it was a episode of Star Wars Episode 3 remake.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my powers. Don't make me kill you.
I hate you.
Dude,
You were the chosen one, Anakin.
Star Trek, not a terrible Star
You
Wars
were
movie.
my brother. I loved you. I could quote that whole final scene just for the record.
That's good stuff.
I have brought peace, justice to my new empire. Your new empire. I could go on. Oh, it's such a that is.
Man, Hayden Christensen was a bad actor.
Yes, but Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, in that scene was great.
Masterful.
It's great. My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. The high ground. It's a whole episode of King of the Hill, where you just try to push each other off the hill, and it ends when they're at the top of the hill at the end of the episode.
I think you meant King of the Hill, the animated series.
Okay.
That's exactly what I thought too. There's some propane and propane accessories.
I want you to do this episode as review this as Dale as Boomhauer.
Boomhauer. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what, man.
I'll tell you what.
This episode, they get Crutcher.
All right. Enterprise is on a mercy mission to deliver supplies to a war-torn planet. When the rebels show up, because there's a civil war going on there, the rebels show up, capture Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher's taken back to the rebel base where she thinks they're all evil, and then the guy has an open heart with her and is like, I had a kid too, it was killed. And she's like, I hear you, boo. I'll take care of your prisoners. She starts caring for his prisoners. Meanwhile, Riker's having a heart-to-heart with their chief of security, but he's not trying to bone her for once, so there's that. He's got that going for her, and she's like, we got to kill all the rebels. And he's like, if you just keep killing, you're going to have a problem. And she's like, you don't understand. They kill us, so we kill them. The episode ends with them finding their secret base after they had captured Picard and invaded the Enterprise and planted bombs on the Enterprise. And they capture, they beam down. They capture the secret base. They kill the rebel leader. Beverly almost admits something to Picard, but just in time for that, chaos ensues. They leave the planet hoping that there's no more war because Beverly Crusher says, no more killing. And the kid puts down his gun. The end.
Security still sucks in this episode.
Security sucks on the Enterprise.
What's going on?
These are 2 episodes in a row where they really suck. The guy
but
just
they sucked. They sucked less this episode, but they still sucked.
They walk right in there and plant bombs on there. And Geordi's like, oh, what is that?
In frickin' engineering. Come on.
I know you have this experimental sort of beaming technology, but you don't have some force field around the warp drive?
Or how about you knew that they had this technology? I don't know. Go to Yellow Alert and add some
Double your security.
Yes.
This was actually the episode where the guy's like, your hands are already dirty, right? Because you know something terrible is happening here and you're doing nothing to fix it. Or was that both episodes? These episodes
they were very similar.
I actually think it was this episode.
Yeah, they kind of bleed together in some.
That's why he was so mad at Picard.
They were pretty similar in
theme.
Tone and theme, and
they were yeah, very.
That
much.
being said, this one was better.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I see him as 2. I see him almost. I'll probably rate him very close. This one might have been a little better.
I actually think that the Crusher exchanges with whatever his name was were actually really good.
Okay.
You could actually see his struggle with what he's doing, and him going from getting soft to realizing, oh wait, I'm bending here.
Yeah.
And I should not bend. They told that a lot better in this episode than they did the prior episode, where the struggle he actually had. Oh, your son's on the ship? Sorry, dude.
Sorry.
That's
sorry.
I love the line of relax, doctor. I see no reason to kill you. It's I don't think that's as relaxing as you think it is, that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't really bring me comfort, sir. Doesn't bring me comfort. Because first of all, I didn't think you were going to kill me before that. Now I think you were going to.
No, I think it was on the
No,
table.
he said he wasn't.
But he could change his mind.
Don't make him change his mind. Calm down.
Calm down, dude. Help him out.
You'd be a terrible like a hostage.
Safety.
Oh, come on.
Oh, guys, secret. It's been happening all night here. They're silent ones, and they're not deadly. Silent and undeadly. But I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry. I had pizza for dinner. It messes with me now, guys.
Pizza messes with you now?
Pizza messes with me. I know you look at me and you see the peak of physical fitness.
Uh-huh.
But it's really not that way. There's an internal battle going on in my gut.
Color me shocked. This I am stunned. I am in stunned silence.
Isn't it? It's terrible. I know. I'm sorry to mislead you all so
Although
badly.
if I want to put this on air, if pizza ever becomes a problem for me to eat, the two of you have every right to put me down.
I mean,
Same.
just because it's a problem doesn't mean I stop eating it. Hence,
No,
our
I know,
situation.
but
This
I don't
evening.
want to live in a world where pizza is an issue for me. Just put me down.
I hear you.
Put me out of my misery.
I hear
I've
you.
lived a good run.
I hear you.
Once my body starts rejecting pizza, it's hospice care. Just put me in hospice care.
It's hospice care. I get you. I hear you. I hear
Joe's
you.
in hospice. He looks so good though. His body's not taking the pizza.
It's just he can't. It's not absorbing it anymore for some reason.
At least Picard got to punch somebody in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fighting was terrible.
Well, the aftermath especially, yeah. Where he jumps on him. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god,
Yeah.
the fighting scenes were some of the worst I've seen in Star Trek, and Star Trek is not known for fighting scenes.
no.
Couple things about this episode. It kind of goes with the fighting thing, the terrorism element that they're talking about, right? The use of terrorism. This episode does a terrible job really teaching you that terrorism is bad. Okay, it does a bad job. Sorry, I did it,
Okay.
Mr. Mackey there. Okay, especially when I compare it to some good episodes of DS9 and some good episodes of Battlestar Galactica dealing with those very issues.
And Reba.
And Reba for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think this does a really good job of really making you truly understand the toll this war has taken on the people.
Correct.
And how it's changed them. Like, I know there's a couple scenes where they show kids getting arrested and they're like, oh my gosh. And then that kid pulling the gun at the end, but it doesn't really, it feels, and I understand this is a product of the era, but it feels just so bland.
From Ronald D. Moore, describing this episode as an abomination. It's our one terrorist show. We didn't have anything interesting to say about terrorism except that it's bad and Beverly gets kidnapped. So ho hum.
I like Ronald D. Moore a lot.
They take her down to the caves and we get to have a nice big preachy speeches about terrorism and freedom, fighting security forces versus the society. It's a very unsatisfying episode, and the staff wasn't really happy at all. Michael Piller, another show I wasn't happy with.
so why? I guess my question would be to Pillar and
He's dead.
Well, not directly to him, but like, why send it to production?
Because usually,
Because you're on a time frame.
well, you're on a time frame, and so you get the script and you look at the script and you say, okay, it's good.
Why not rewrite it? Why not go? We're gonna go do something completely different. Is it time restraint?
I think
or
it's time restraints when you're doing
Push
26.
it back in the production order then.
I think it's the 26 episodes a season thing, where everything is so far ahead
Yeah.
that it's then hard to regroup. And to that,
It just seems like when everyone's in alignment with like, yeah, this episode sucked, the writing sucked, there wasn't a lot here. Nobody really liked it. But like,
but we greenlit it anyway.
We
And who
sent
knows?
it to production.
It may have looked better on page. Like maybe they cut out some of the story and it didn't get on screen. I don't know.
From their comments, it doesn't sound like that.
But that was after the show aired.
Right.
Yeah.
And with the
And you
benefit
can't-
of hindsight.
And you can't shelve an episode once it's filmed. It's going
no,
to air.
it's
Yeah. Well, especially when you're dealing with a show that's in syndication, you have a 24 episode order.
26.
26. Okay. You're
Yeah, they're a long
having to pump
season.
them out. Yeah. Like you don't have a choice. Like, again, there's the benefit to shorter seasons of shows to some extent. You don't have filler episodes,
yeah.
I missed some of the filler episodes.
but I
though.
do miss filler episodes to an extent as well.
But I think I agree with your point and the point of the writers, but I think it's unfair to compare it to DS9 and Battlestar Galactica because they're trying to get you emotionally invested in a war that you have no idea about. When this episode starts, you have no idea. And
Right.
in one episode, they're trying to get you emotionally invested in this, whereas DS9 and Battlestar BSG,
Yeah, you were in it.
like
right?
it's episode
si-
after episode. You feel like you're in it with them.
You
These are
sided with the Bajorans.
seasons-
You sided
yeah.
with the humans.
And
These
right?
are season long story arcs.
Yeah.
And even some of the episodes that were one-offs, you knew the characters. Like if you look at Hard Time,
Right.
you knew the character already. So you were invested in Miles O'Brien. And then when they told the story about how he was, I mean,
Yeah.
you're automatically in with that.
This is
character.
new characters, new situation.
And in-
each episode
In 40,
is like
so 47
40
minutes.
some minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell.
That's a tough sell.
And if it doesn't work, it does not work.
Yes.
Now we've seen them do this well. more often than not, we see it
You would have
fall
to take
a
a lot
little
of,
flat.
you would have to take a lot of care with this in order to execute it well.
Yeah, especially something like terrorism and war, which is these are things that are these are complex situations.
It needs substance.
Yes.
Gosh, I always think about the speech Ty gave on New Caprica about being the, what was it, this one?
Too fracking much really matters anymore.
Like where he's talking about them being the devil or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Disrupt the Cylons. Make them worry about the anthill they've stirred up down here, so they're distracted and out of
You know what I
position
do miss
when the
about
old
that
man
show?
shows
Thai
up in
voice?
orbit.
The Thai voice.
The bombings?
The
Got the
bombings.
Cylons' attention. They really got their attention. And
They
I am
really
not
got their
giving that up.
attention.
We're talking about
I miss
people
One-Eyed Ty.
blowing themselves up.
You
Can we
know,
start a band called One-Eyed Tie?
One-Eyed Tie.
Sometimes I think that you've got ice water.
What is it?
in
We're
those
on the
veins,
side
and other
of-
times
what
I
does
think
he
you're just
say?
a naive little school teacher.
Gosh.
I've sent men on suicide missions in 2 wars now, and let me tell you something. It don't make a goddamn bit of difference whether they're riding in a Viper or walking out onto a parade ground. In the end, they're just as dead.
Never heard of it, Nick.
So take
Just
your
FYI.
piety
Take
and
your piety and your moralizing elsewhere. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the line. But that wasn't the speech I was thinking of, but it's because that was when he was talking with,
President Roslin.
no.
Oh, this
that
one?
was
Yeah.
when he was talking with her. He was talking with labor union leader man.
Oh,
Why am I blanking on his name?
yeah. I forget his name.
It's like my favorite show of all
He's
time.
he's BSG O'Brien.
Yes, exactly. BSG O'Brien also suffers like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat the crap
What
out of
the
his
hell was his
future
name?
wife.
I thought it sounded
Kelly
like Ty.
and Kelly.
Gaida?
Tyrrell. Chief Tyrrell.
Tyrrell, yeah.
Tyrrell. There we go.
Gaeta. Why
there-
would you bring his name up? You son of a bitch.
That's the which side are we on? We're on the side of the demons, Chief. We're evil men in the gardens of paradise, sent by the forces of death to spread the devastation and destruction wherever we go. I'm surprised you didn't know that. I love that quote. Anyway, it makes me think of this whole idea of terrorism, right? When we're sitting there talking about how evil these people are to commit acts of terror in order to win, and like Ty said in that one quote just now, it doesn't matter if you're in a Viper or if they're on a parade ground with a bomb strap. A death is a death, right? It doesn't really matter in his mind. And
Right.
Do you guys really think terrorism is bad?
Yeah, we've had this conversation many times.
Yes.
I still
Does it
do.
concern you how often I side with terrorism being almost
Jean-Luc Picard would
good and
disagree with
necessary?
you because he says history has shown us that strength may be. Oh wait, no, he agrees with you. His history has shown us that strength may be useless when faced with terrorism. So it doesn't matter how strong of an empire you are, terrorism can win. You know,
Can
it's-
win. Yeah.
Yeah. World War II. Not
because
World
when
War
you
II.
I mean when
Really?
9/11, India during their desire for independence.
oh
from
never
Great
forget
Britain.
9/11 was just the other day.
Yep.
Never forget.
I forgot.
I know.
I didn't.
I mean when I don't know. War is full of terrorism.
It's a version of,
But if you're the Federation, how can you? Okay, so this is another.
It's not
point, though.
it's not terrorism to you. It's only terrorism to the opposition.
It depends on what your acts are doing. Like if one side
No.
is obeying the rules of war, which I know you already think there should be no such thing.
I agree.
But if one
I
side
know.
is following the Geneva Convention,
Idiots.
and ignoring civilians and is only striking military targets and doing all these things, and the other side's like, we're losing this war, time to start killing their babies and their children, right? I mean, come on, that's not justifiable terrorism. If one side is obeying the laws of war completely,
Why? Why would you do such a stupid thing?
I know. I'm just saying, man. See,
It's
this is
only-
why I can never be a military
no
leader.
women, no children.
It's only terrorism if you're on the opposition. You I
No,
mean
I think some people know what they're doing is going to be terroristic. Is that a good?
yeah,
Did I just
I
make the
guess,
word up?
but I mean, I don't know if
Yeah, like someone
They
who
don't-
straps a bomb to their chest and walks into the middle of a parade and says, like, I'm not killing any military targets. Like, you know it's terrorism.
Well,
You know,
like-
your goal is to inflict terror into the heart of your enemy.
Well-
Your goal is not to win a military target.
So I used to work at a border, and yeah,
I thought you were going to say Family Video and relay a story with Family Video and
no,
terrorism.
no,
That would have been great.
I used to work at an international border, and I have to be careful what I say here. When there were issues, people knew what they were trying to do. They were really trying to. They knew it was a terrorist potential issue.
But his argument is those people think they're at war.
I think they are at war,
Right.
but they also realize what they're doing as a terrorist act, but necessary.
A necessary evil?
Bringing that one back. Bingo card.
Ciao.
Do you think that countries and certain militaries would act differently if they knew that there were no if they operated with the knowledge that there are no rules to war?
If they were, I would think that countries would act different if they ever knew there were no like implications on the global scale on committing acts of war. Like, you know how many countries would probably gravitate towards genocide if they could get away with it and not get caught, like against another country?
Oh yeah.
Like, and just commit mass acts of murder and just murder millions of people, and no country would step up and be like, that is wrong to do. Like, they would do it in a heartbeat, right?
I don't think countries don't do it because of sanctions.
Oh, I think they absolutely do. They're worried about the outcome, not
For
of
lack
that
of a
war,
word,
but
be PR.
yeah.
That's a lack of a better word.
I don't think countries who would commit genocide are worried about PR.
Yeah.
Okay, think about the war on terror. What really turned the tide of the U.S. against the war on terror was when those pictures came out of the prisons of the soldiers torturing the inmates. And then people turned against that real quick once they realized our soldiers were committing acts of atrocity. That they turned real quick against the war on terror. What was that? Abu
Ghraib. Abu Ghraib. Yeah.
I just, anytime you say something factual, I automatically don't believe you. I don't know why. But yes, Abu Ghraib. Yeah.
Jeez.
Torture and prison abuse. Yeah.
I feel like I've proven myself to be like not really an idiot.
We all have our days.
You know what? To hell with you both.
Well, and
I
then,
said all of us have our days.
So then that happens, right? And then we get all this proof of United States committing waterboarding and torture to get information, which you would argue
oh my
they
God.
needed to do that to get the information.
Can we just toughen up? What are we doing? We're gonna. Okay, so the same country that was like, you know what, bomb the shit out of Japan because they attacked us. Retaliation. We're just gonna bomb them into oblivion. Wipe 2 cities off the map. We're like, yeah, we can't see people getting tortured. It's crazy. Please don't show us that. Don't do that. That's gross. We shouldn't be doing that. When 60 years prior, we absolutely wiped two civilizations off the map, like two cities off the map.
Wasn't there a bigger picture in the long run for that one?
Wasn't that
You don't
a
think there
world
was a
war
bigger
where
picture after in the wake of 9/11?
I think the World War is kind of a bigger production. If you're
Sure.
filming a movie,
Sure, but we weren't really. That really kickstarted us into World War II at the time. That we were more hands off at that point.
at that point we weren't. At that point, we were
At the point that
we
Pearl
bombed?
Harbor was bombed,
Oh, at Pearl Harbor, yeah, Pearl Harbor bombed, yes. But when we dropped the bombs,
we wouldn't
That's
have
kinda the tail end.
done it if Pearl Harbor didn't happen.
We were pretty involved in World War II even before the bombs dropped.
oh yeah, before,
Financially, militarily, like we were sending over.
but we were hands off. We weren't actively.
There was plans to get in the war.
Plans are plans.
What if I told you we knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen? And
Oh, what are you, a conspiracy
my
theorist?
God, here we go.
Jesus. My
Stop.
point
Just
is
stop.
my point is if you're at
there's
war,
actual evidence of this, folks.
my point is if you're in the middle of
How's
a
that movie
war
ending?
or you're at war, you can't be appalled by the things that happen in war.
But one would argue
We
the
can't-
war on terror, quote unquote, was never even a war in the first place. It wasn't
War isn't
declared against the country.
WWE. This isn't.
Okay,
We're
the
not taking
country
chair
that committed the
shots.
war on terror was actually Saudi Arabia, and we're grabbing random civilians and torturing them. Now they weren't random; they were involved in some shape.
They
or form.
were. I mean, they weren't just grabbing kids from grocery stores and waterboarding them.
Hey, this kid's trying to sell me popcorn from the Boy Scouts. Grab him!
They're not going.
and the
I
pop-
wanted Samoan cookies.
And the popcorn.
They're not going to
I
like.
wanted Nutter Butters.
They weren't going to like Iraqi Krogers and just grabbing people.
What'd that be called?
We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into what an Iraqi Kroger's would be called.
Someone might know. I'm just asking.
I think it would just be called Kroger, right?
I know.
Yeah, it would. Well, it would be written in their language, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or would it? Would it be like the equivalent of when you're like when my former Japanese exchange student, she would be talking in Japanese, and all of a sudden I'd hear McDonald's like just randomly pop up.
I mean, some words probably don't translate to something different.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just you can't be in war. You can't have a war, and
You can. you can.
What do you and expect niceties? We're not playing Risk. This isn't a board game.
You have not played Risk with me then.
You're effectively proving the point, though. My point was being, if countries didn't realize the PR nightmare that would happen, they would all be committing these max acts of terrorism, right? These soldiers did not realize these pictures would get out in public, which, first of all, idiots taking pictures of what you're doing and like laughing about them.
Yeah, that part is.
And if they would have, if any,
that's the part that I have an issue with.
if any leader
Put it on Twitter.
that's the part because they took a picture.
No, it's the taunting. It's not
a 15-yard penalty, bro.
Flow a flag.
But again, that's the point. Like, if they would have realized the PR nightmare this would have caused, they probably never would have let him do it. But because the information got out. But if you could guarantee there was no way this information could get out, countries would be just doing the most nasty, depraved crap.
You're in the middle of a war, and you need information. The only way to get this information that will end the war.
They've already proven that torture doesn't get you reliable information in the first place.
It does.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
They've already.
It doesn't not.
There's been.
If I tortured you, I could get whatever information I wanted out of you.
You don't even have to torture me, baby.
High ground.
You
By
just
the way,
have to call me. You just have to call me daddy once, and I'll give you whatever
That's
you want.
5.
High ground. Next generation, guys.
Yeah, this episode stinks.
We're talking about it in terms of terrorism and this idea of it, right?
I'm just going to make sure we don't lose focus. This is a Star Trek episode.
I don't think they did a good idea showing the terrorists as people that are relatable, and they didn't do a good job.
But do you think that they did that on purpose? Didn't you think they did that on purpose?
No, no. I think this is before like we really truly understood what terrorism was in the United States, right?
Right.
To the extent where we hadn't experienced it. Like, that's why Battlestar Galactica does such a good job depicting it. It's fresh after September 11th, right? Deep Space Nine does a good job because you're in the mid to late 90s now.
And Kira is a terrorist.
Yeah,
exactly. And we had there's still the bombing in
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City bombing. There was a World Trade Center bombing in 91, right?
So, there's the Gulf War still. It wasn't terrorism based, but it was still
fresh
a fresh war.
Right, exactly. You had the Libyan airplanes that were captured and crashed. You had these things all happen after this episode of Star Trek. So our understanding of terrorism.
Are you blaming it on this episode?
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, hey,
our understanding of what this war,
Worf sucks at security.
What terrorism is, changes significantly 2 or 3 years after this episode airs. So I think their goal is to show these terrorists as just normal people, everyday guys. Whereas after this, all of a sudden terrorists are mustache twirling. Nah, I'm going to get them. Nah.
They were like that beforehand. And in media.
Depends, yeah.
True Lies.
True Lies was later on.
Was it?
96.
It was 96. It was like 94.
96.
No, I think it's 96. Might even be
True
97.
Lies, 94.
Oh. Rob got one.
Still, after acts of terrorism.
True Lies 94?
Yeah, because I know it came out before I worked at the theater.
There was a 90s. There was a 9. Is it Eraser?
Oklahoma City bombing was 95.
Yep.
So before.
But their terrorism.
I know.
Their terrorists were different. They were like rich terrorists.
Rich.
Sounds terrible.
If I won the lottery, I would never become a terrorist. Like all the things I would do, becoming a terrorist would never even make the list.
You won $1 billion. What are you going to do?
Joe.
I'm going to be a terrorist.
Joe, I terrorize that ass.
Yeah, you don't have to win the lottery for that. I mean, it itself is winning the lottery.
No. Can we go to rating these episodes?
5.
The Hunted.
Total for both.
The Hunted. I give it a 5.5.
Oh, that's more than I'm giving it. By a whole point.
3.
4.5 for you.
Yep.
3 for Rob. High ground. I give a 4.5.
I'm flip flopping with you. I'm gonna give this one a 5.5. I think it's a little better.
4.
See,
Wow. So after we had a great episode in The Defector, it goes back to Stinkerville. Season 3 has been very uneven so far.
do you think either one of these episodes would have been rated better if they both weren't sort of like
So
adjacent
close
to each other?
I agree. I think. Well, actually, if you really think about it, we have 3 in a row that are somewhat similar in some shape or form. With The Defector, like dealing with like covert operations,
Yeah.
and
But I think the benefit of that
even
episode,
the vengeance factor.
but the benefit,
actually.
the benefit
Kind
of
of
that
about
episode,
terrorism.
the benefit of that one is we didn't have to. This one, these two sucked. I think more because we had to watch them back to back.
I agree.
Yeah.
If there was
Like if they were broken up into one,
And they were really bad
Yeah.
to watch back to back because I got done with one and I'm like,
well, I was like more of this.
Yeah.
This,
but we get Q next week.
Q
yeah,
who?
I did see that.
Q who?
I think so.
No, it's
Q who?
Something
Yeah.
Q.
Yeah,
Who?
that one.
Q.
No, it's not Q
Yes.
who.
Who? Q who? Q who? Yeah, it's Q who.
No, it isn't.
Come
It's
on.
Deja Q.
Ha, got it.
Deja Q and Matter of Perspective are the 2 episodes we review next week.
I give Q who an 8,
Okay.
and Matter of Perspective, it's a little bit of a letdown, a trap game, if you will.
Nice.
6.5.
Well, first of all, I can already tell you you're wrong because next week is not Q who, it's Deja Q.
You screwed me again, Costanza.
he got in your head.
So Deja Q, I'm going to give an 8, and then
A Matter of Perspective.
that's the one. I'm going to give it 6.5.
You know what I'm getting excited about? Because the week after that is Yesterday's Enterprise.
That's all right. It's all right.
What's that one? Spoil it.
No.
What
No.
I'm really excited about is afterwards is the episode The Offspring.
Gotta keep them separated.
Yeah. Hey. Come out and play.
Meanwhile, go back and watch those Star Trek Day interviews with celebrities that came on and talked about
Jesus.
Star Trek.
Actually,
I mean,
just go.
Your girl AOC is a Trekker. That interview aired with
Kate
her and
Mulgrew.
Kamala Harris at the same time. Yeah. I mean, they really went all out for Star Trek Day. Make sure you guys watch those videos.
They did
But,
a great job bringing in
Is it Katie Mulgrew?
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew?
Yeah.
She showed up at a
AOC
AOC rally event,
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
soon to be on our show.
Because AOC used
Both
to
of them?
watch. She used to watch Star Trek Voyager with her dad, and she really admired Captain Janeway because that's the first female captain in Star Trek, and she really admired it.
It was
And
a
it
broad.
helped
It was a
inspire
broad
her.
captain.
And that's where Star Trek started to go down.
Hot take: I think Janeway is one of the better captains on Star Trek.
That's sexist.
No, she's not very well liked by a lot of Star Trek people. They don't think she's a great
That's
captain.
sexist.
Yeah, I think she's. If I had to rank the captains,
What about her or Michael? Whatever.
Burnham.
Burnham.
oh gosh, she's last.
Yeah.
Is Burnham really last?
One is probably Picard for me. 2 is probably
I can't-
Cisco. 3 is Janeway. 4
Janeway above Kirk.
Janeway above Kirk. Movie Kirk is different than TV show Kirk to me.
Oh,
I'm gonna trust you
vastly, vastly different.
But I'm just going by TV shows.
I'm going to trust you on this because I don't see Picard in the way almost 3 seasons in. I don't see it yet.
You don't see it in season 3 so
far?
far?
It's better. It's better.
Like him noping out of the situation like you get to solve it. Beam us
or
out.
he brings the Klingons in and it's like, oh, you want to die together?
Yeah.
no,
Shall we
I
die,
get it.
my friend?
He's on the ascend. But at this point, I wouldn't say he's better than Cisco.
Well, in the words of Alexander Hamilton, just you wait. Just you wait. Alexander Hamilton.
If you want more of this, go over to our Patreon. $2 a month or $5 a month, you get more of this.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the way to say it. You get less of this. You get some special things we've done over there.
Well, that'd be fun. Yeah.
After we're out of this kind of busy season.
If you want to be a part of the show, you can follow us on socials. Find us wherever.
we
Instagram.
have some reader feedback to catch up on next
Yep,
week, which we will
We
do.
do. We should just do a whole episode of feedback.
Well, we'd have to get some.
we get
We have plenty.
Oh, I get plenty.
Oh, I bet you do, actually.
If you want us to do a whole episode of listener feedback, call us at 734-494-0980
Okay.
and give us your input.
That would be appreciated. We
On
would
how-
love that.
Give us your thoughts on war. Do you want to
What
fight with
is-
me or you want to fight with Nick?
What is it good for?
You know what? I would lose a war very quickly. You would win a war because you would do all sorts of brave things to win.
Let's invade his house.
Yeah. All my soldiers are just grabbing junk.
You would
They're
just
they're
walk.
like, hey, you can't do that. Listen, we'll do anything in war. I'm grabbing nut sacks. I'm doing two titty twisters. All of it.
You're like, this is really unfair. They don't even carry weapons, and they're terrifying.
My balls hurt so much.
It's I'm doing like the skin burn. I'm not saying what it is, but like the rug burn on the skin.
Oh.
I'm doing all the old school shit.
Yeah, wet willies.
Yeah.
You're like tanks don't have like cannons on them. They just have a flap that'll come up and hit people in the nutsack. Doof, doof, doof.
You know how you have landmines buried underground? It's not that. It's just something that comes up and just punches you in the junk.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Joe's team fights dirty.
kicking people in the shin.
Now
Oh,
one
yeah.
person's dead, but we've totally surrendered.
Wet willies. What's the thing where you dunk people's heads in the toilet?
Oh,
What do they call those?
No.
No,
Wet
that's,
willy's the finger of the ear.
something swirl.
Swirly? A
Swirly, yeah.
Or the thing where you slap their belly a lot to make it super red. You'd hold them down. Stop it!
If people are ticklish, you tickle the crap out of them.
Pull their hand behind their back, twist it up really high.
And you just say, stop hitting me. Stop
Putting
hitting
people
yourself.
in like full Nelsons.
You're slapping the face. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting
Stop hitting
yourself.
yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Noogies.
Basically, you just get all those like 12-year-old bullies
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
This would be a terrible war. The war crimes committed would be just unmentionable. Speaking of war crimes, we're going to play for you an AI cover. Now, as we dial out today, normally we close with a song that super fan Cole wrote for us, which we got to have Cole back on. He's got an album coming out, I believe, and he wants to talk about it.
Pick them up.
Yeah, I know. We got to get Cole back. But normally we close out with a song by superfan Cole, but we have an AI cover that we want to play for
We're
you
going.
that
We're going the Disney route. We're just
somehow
replacing Cole with
pronounces-
AI.
Somehow pronounces Kardashians as Kardashians multiple times until the last time where it gets it right.
Then it fixes it.
One time. So, ladies and
We
gentlemen,
haven't perfected AI.
it's
yet.
been great. Here we go, being hypocrites, playing an AI song. Have a good one. Bye.
Nick and Rob and Joe in the studio they go, talking pop and showbiz flow. Keep it up, you'll never know. Movies, comics, news galore, breaking down what we adore. Kardashian facts we'll explore. Rock this podcast to the core. Keeping up with the sound. Pop culture all around. Nick and Rob and Joe in town. Kardashians bringing down latest flicks and superhero scenes. Binge-worthy TV dreams. Gossip, buzz, and wild memes. This podcast busts the seams. Sci-fi tells me at night. Geeking out night after night. News that keeps our future bright. Rocking with Kardashian light. Keeping up with the sound. Pop culture all around. Nick and Rob and Joe in town. Kardashians bringing down. Yeah. Yeah. Latest flicks and superhero scenes. Binge-worthy TV dreams. Gossip, buzz, and wild memes. This podcast bursts the seams. Sci-fi tales we ignite. Geeking out night after night. News that keeps the future bright. Rocking with Kardashian light. Keeping up with the sound. Pop culture all around. Nick and Rob and Joe in town. Kardashians bringing down.